Hello and welcome back to Shokuho, and we're in the smithing screen. Yeah, it's been a while since we've actually seen this because, well, various smithing mods are going to cause me to crash, and I kind of want to keep them disabled for as much as I can. Anyway, we're here. We're trying to get as much resource as we can, and I am basically just smelting a huge amount of stuff. Technically, what I could do is I could just smelt all, but I've been going a little bit less, shall we say, grievously strong here. Look, there we go. Look at that. I just did a crazy smelt all, and we smelted 325 weapons in one fell swoop. Actually, pretty crazy to do that. And indeed, we are going to be getting a little bit more charcoal here, and indeed, everything is going very, very nicely here, because Bruce actually has 211 in smithing skill now, which is actually insanely good. And what we're doing is we are literally just smelting all here. And as you can see, look at this. Look at how crazy this is. Look at that. Boom. Done. That's it. Every single weapon in our inventory. You know how many we had, right? We had thousands of weapons in our inventory. Now they're all gone. They are all 100% gone because they've all been, they've all been crafted into something. They've all been smelted and so on and so forth. And this is the weapon that I'm creating for our heirs here. And as you see here, that is it right here. The crafted Nodachi, it is indeed a balanced one as well. And indeed, it might actually even be better than the one I'm currently using by a, shall we say, small margin. It's not going to be amazingly good or, vastly different or anything like that. Technically, I could go for a slightly different build here if I wanted to. For example, this one is also a tier 5 blade. However, it is going to change the damage slightly. I mean, you could see the difference here. Basically, the difference is, do you want extra reach or do you want extra damage? That's basically what it comes down to. Reach or damage, reach or damage, reach or damage. Well, for me personally, I like the damage, right, more than the range. So, yeah, I'm just going to be going with that. And otherwise, there is nothing much more for me to do. I could go for 225 in smithing if I wanted to, which might make a little bit of sense. So what I'm going to do is we're just going to go and refine a huge amount of stuff here. Hopefully, do you think I can make it? I might not be able to even make it. Let's just do 50 every single time. There we go. We are actually making some pretty decent money here. Bear in mind my charcoal is going down really, really quickly here, because of course it is. Yes, it's going to be taking quite a lot of resources. Just imagine me doing this without the unlimited stamina mod. That's all I can say. Just imagine that I am doing it manually. This would be utterly this would be kind of disgusting, actually, with the amount of time that it's actually going to take. Because look at this. Look at how insane this actually is. And there you go. We've now made it to 225, which is wonderful. So here we are at Oyama. Once again, I have disbanded the army. We are still technically at war against the Takeda clan, but that's okay. That's okay, because as you see, their exhaustion is at 89 at the moment. And that's all good, that's fine. We don't really need to worry too much about that. And I am going to, of course, be pretty much calling for our son to come and join us, of course. And indeed, there it is. There is one of our Nodachis that we've created. As you can see, the difference between the two is very, very minuscule, as my weapon is actually really, really good. And as I said to you before, we basically created an extremely, extremely powerful weapon. And yeah, I'm just going to swap it out, because even though it is almost basically exactly the same, this one does have 3 more damage, which really, no offense, it's not really going to do that much more. It's not going to make any real big difference, but it's nice to have it nevertheless. Now, I can see, yeah, I highly doubt we're going to be able to do anything with that. I am going to be giving our wife this, though, because this is definitely going to make a huge difference to her overall damage. I'm going to assume that she's actually going to be able to head into a battle, and if she's in a siege or something like that, she's probably going to be able to absolutely slaughter everything in her path, which is definitely something I am interested in. So we are just going to apply these changes. We're just going to move on to where we can go and speak to Ichibei here. And I am going to recall him. It's going to take 8 days. Oh, no. Okay, yeah, it's going to take 8 days for him to get here. That is going to be significant. But that's okay, because we can then make him, or technically turn him into a party. We might be able to do that. He might be able to level up pretty quickly through that. And then we'll see what happens. Alright, so our wonderful son here has now joined our party, and you can see here that he's actually wearing some pretty good gear. I mean, obviously, it's not as good as what we could potentially provide him. However, it is still very, very decent. So we're just going to be giving him a couple of upgrades here. I mean, I don't really have that much to really give him, to be honest, but, you know, it's a little bit here. You know, just a little bit of stuff. And obviously, if we can outfit him in the best possible stuff that we can, he's going to be very, very nice when we actually take over. Well, if we are actually going to be taking over him, basically. And yeah, otherwise, we have our 2 balanced crafted Nodachis right here. As you can see, they do 140 damage. And we're just going to be equipping him with this. He was actually using this, as far as I'm aware, which is a mythic Tachi, which is actually pretty good, to be honest, all things considered. And yeah, otherwise, that's it. I'm not gonna be using anything else on him. I mean, technically, this is the funny thing. He doesn't even have 60 in riding skill, but he is capable of using this horse, which is quite funny. So yeah, that's going to be interesting. But yeah, now that he has joined us, I am at Oyama. The Mori have decided to declare war, by the way. And the Takeda clan, they had a peace agreement shoved through by our vassals. I didn't really want to do anything with my influence or anything like that. And yeah, we ended up losing basically nothing from it. But funnily enough, I only have 88 influence. I'm actually not entirely sure where am I losing my influence from, because I don't even know what happened with that. Because I have not done anything. I've literally just been standing here. So it's a little bit strange. Anyway, we're going to be reading a book with our son here, and we're going to be reading this because this is going to provide him with the most benefit. And indeed, we have, of course, leveled up our smithing skill. So you can see here, I've already spec'd into Artisan Smith and Master Smith, and then we're going to be putting our last perk point into Enduring Smith. This is really, really good for endurance, of course. I mean, you know, duh, you know. And that is indeed going to increase our riding skill and athletics a little bit more. Just a little bit, of course. And, you know, one thing I'm going to say right now. Personally, I don't believe that it's worth going above 225 in smithing unless you're trying to create legendary weapons, okay? If you're trying to create legendary weapons, then by all means, go for it. Go for 275 if you want to, but if you're playing without mods, if you're playing without the infinite stamina mod or anything like that, good luck. It's going to take a long time to get there. I can only say that, you know, I just wish you the best of luck because it is going to take a long time. And, of course, the fact that the 250th skill level perk is basically one of the worst things in the entire game. Because 2% additional swing damage for 250 in smithing? Now, no offense, right? No offense, but this is terrible. This is a really, really bad perk, in my opinion. Both of these are terrible. 2% damage is not going to do anything. If you are already killing enemies in one hit, there is no need for 2%. 2% is not going to do anything, right? And if you have 250 in that time, it is fundamentally just going to be like, well, my character's pretty high level at this point, so I should probably have, you know, a pretty decent amount of, well, everything else, you know, so I don't know, it's just a very weird thing. Very, very weird thing indeed, to give us 2% at that skill level. Because even at a low level, right, you know, let's just say that I only level up smithing skill, right? If I'm only leveling up smithing skill, then you'd think, oh yes, my smithing skill's terrible, so, or should we say, my smithing skill's the only thing that's good and everything else is terrible. So, surely, it would make sense for us to have a bit of a benefit from having smithing skill really, really high level. And of course, the only thing that you're going to be really getting from that is a really good weapon, which of course is very good, but 2% from a perk? I don't know. I think that's a little bit too low, you know? I think that's a little bit too low for my liking. I think that's a little bit stingy, you know, a little bit stingy, to be honest. Okay, so we are going to be making our way over to Ueshi Castle here, and I'm going to see if I can maybe take it, and it would be wonderful if our son can get a couple of kills. It would be really, really nice if he could get a couple of kills here. He is leveling up scouting, steward, and all that stuff with the book, of course. It doesn't give a huge amount. It is doing pretty well, and I'm actually quite happy, to be honest, that we have the ability to read the book while we are moving, because if we didn't, then it would be pretty terrible, wouldn't it? Yeah, it would be pretty terrible if I had to wait in one place the entire time. That would be exceptionally bad, but thankfully we can actually read it. We are going to be getting another of our children ready as well for ascension into the ranks, at least sometime soon. And you can see here they have 2 days worth of food. Wow, that's really, really good. Okay, wow, that's good for us, bad for them. Alright, so I just wanted to give you a little bit of a heads up as to what's going on with our son. Is he actually... He is level 31. Why is he... Oh, dear. Okay, yeah. I'm not entirely sure what has happened with this guy. But as you can quite clearly tell, he's level 31. I actually thought he would start at level, well, 1, right? Level 1 or level 5 or something like that. But he has leveled to 31 somehow. I'm actually not entirely sure how he leveled to 31 so fast. And his stats are terrible. His stats are absolutely terrible. And he has not filled any of his perks with 5 focus points. He's not filled anything. I was kind of hoping that our children would be somewhat similar, at least into a small degree, similar to the Distinguished Service Companions. I was very much hoping that they would be kind of on that, near to that level. Not like super hardcore to that level, because let's face it, that is obviously very, very good. And a lot of these Distinguished Service Companions are leveled up from extremely high tier units to begin with, right? So us having a companion level up from them, yeah, I mean, it kind of makes sense, right? I feel like it kind of makes sense that they have really, really good skills. Whereas a child, obviously, that has leveled up, or at the very least has, you know, just come of age, is, well, I mean, technically, the child should be very low level, right? Because then it would have a lot of room to grow and to become a lot more powerful over time. But unfortunately, because of reasons unknown, I actually don't know, because it's been it's actually been an extremely long time since I've had any children reach combat age. There was only one time, I believe, beforehand that actually happened, I think, maybe. And that was in the Crusade Khanate series. Maybe we had another one sometime, but I can't remember that. But yeah, Crusade Khanate series, we actually had a very, very long reign with our character, and he was thankfully blessed with some pretty good children. But yeah, very strange that we are now seeing our son have such terrible gear. Well, should we say terrible stats? Not terrible gear, because we did actually give him some pretty decent stuff. But yeah, it is very unsettling to me, because now we are going to be in a situation where we want to level him up, and he's well, he's level 31. I'm not sure how easy it's going to be for him to level. I guess that's the point, isn't it? I guess that's the point. We're going to have to figure that out. For some reason, I'm getting shot from the side as well. Okay, I'm going to have to do a little bit of dance action here. Yes, I will just dance the knight away and try to avoid getting shot in the face. And I'm actually, you know what? I'm going to go a little bit deeper into enemy territory here just because I don't really want to continue getting shot over and over. So I'm just going to stand here and slaughter everyone. Slaughter everyone that comes along. There we go. Yes, I love the fact that they're not actually switching to melee. That's very much helping me. Thank you. Thank you, sirs. I very much appreciate that. And indeed, there we go. That was pretty nice. Unfortunately, I am still getting, of course, shot. But that's okay, because we haven't taken that much damage. We haven't taken that much damage at all, surprisingly. So let's actually go up here. Don't get shot in the face. There we go. Nice. There we are. Yes, indeed. And you see exactly what I'm talking about, though. 2% additional damage. Just think about it. If I had 2% additional damage, I would be getting so many more kills, right? Yeah, I'm obviously being sarcastic here, but, you know, just look at my damage right now. You know, the damage, because of this weapon, of course, is exceptional. So 2% additional damage is not going to make any difference. It's really not going to do anything. Which still boggles the mind. I still have no idea why there is a perk that provides us with 2% additional damage. With a specific weapon type, no less, as well. You know, you have to use something specific, like a thrusting or a slashing weapon, and then you have to select between them. It's very, very confusing why they would decide to put that in there. And that's obviously a base game thing. That's not a Shokuho thing. So there is that. But yeah, anyway, very, very strange. Anyway, our son actually, Ichibei, did actually get a kill, I think. And he leveled up his athletic skill and his two-handed skill a small amount. I was actually kind of hoping he'd be able to get more. Obviously, here's the thing. If I was actually able to... I mean, obviously, there are mods that I can use to take control of my companions. The question is, do I want to... shall we say... do I want to artificially inflate his stats? Or do I want to let him progress naturally? That's the question. Because, obviously, if you think about it, if I take control of him... it's more than likely I will be able to get significant amounts of kills. As you can see there, he got 1 kill and he leveled up his stats by 9 and 10 skill points respectively, which is actually pretty good, all things considered. But, you know, he didn't get more than 1 kill, which is quite sad. So there is that. But, oh well, never mind. Okay, I'm just going to go in there. And let's see, what else do we have available? Well, we do have a couple of prisoners that we can take if we want to, which I suppose I will. I am actually going to make him... should I just turn him into a party? It might make sense for us to just turn him into a party at this point. Maybe I should just do that instead. I kind of wanted him to read the book first, and then for us to make him a party member, because then we could call for an army and he could join us, and then that would be pretty fun. I could actually make him into a vassal. That's the funny thing. I could make him into a vassal, but I don't think I'm going to do that. I think that doesn't sound like a particularly good idea, does it? No. Considering we do want to have an heir, you know, that is actually useful and is actually someone that can take over if we have any kind of problem. Even though our spouse is probably going to be the one that we will take over, just because I don't think you have the option to choose. But maybe that's been changed. I don't know. Maybe that's been changed in the time that I have been playing. Okay, so let's actually just see here. I'm going to give it to the Kiryu clan here. I want to try to mend fences a little bit because their relation was down quite a significant amount with us. All right, so let's take a quick look at what's going on here. So as you can see, wait, what's going on here? All right, yeah. So we're going to go and take this town. I'm hopeful that they're... oh, wait a minute. A civil war has broken out. Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, well, we don't need to really worry about that too much. And, yeah, he's still obviously going to be reading the book. I have no idea when he's going to be finished with it. But hopefully relatively soon. I'm not entirely sure what's happening at Okayama as well. I'm hopeful that Mangoro might go over there and actually help us out there. That would be wonderful. I thought we had 2 armies as well, but apparently not. Alright, so I've actually been waiting here to try to reduce the amount of food, and funnily enough, the garrison is already starving. I actually have no clue why that happened. Now, I've already made our son go into a party here just because I thought, you know what, I'm already in this area, I might as well, because I basically went over to a, well, let's just say that I spent some time recruiting some people, and I basically just, you know, drew some others out of the garrison, and I got some Hatamoto units as well, because we are in this area, and it made sense, and so that's where we're at right now. Now, I am obviously going to be leveling these guys up. You can see here I've got quite a few, so we are going to be leveling them up. I don't know what we're going to level them up into. I think personally, it'd probably be good to level them up into bowmen, but I have no idea. I really have no idea. So we'll see what happens with that. Now I'm just going to wait a little bit longer here, and there we go. That's it. They are 100% starved out. Let's see what happens here, because I'm actually starting to starve as well, which is a bit of a problem. Or at the very least, we're not really starting to starve, but we're having some issues, mostly because our party, our son, is having a very little amount of food in his inventory at the moment. Not sure why that is, but yes, I did try to give him some pretty decent units, so I'm kind of hoping that he's going to be relatively good for us. And yeah, I'm hopeful that he's actually going to get a couple of kills in the meantime too. What is that guy? You see how fast that guy is? Wow. He must have really good athletic skill. That's all I could say, right? That is pretty crazy. Okay, yeah, so here we go. Let's do this. Whoa, okay, that was exciting. That was actually very, very exciting to come in here. And basically, I'm actually very surprised that we were able to do that so easily, because we're not using a battering ram here. That's the change that I decided to go with here, because I personally felt like using the battering ram sometimes provides us with much more of a casualty loss than if we weren't, because we have our forces being hyper-aggressive here, you know? They are hyper-aggressive. They are literally going straight in, putting the ladders up, and then immediately going up and attempting to kill the opponent. Whereas if they are using a battering ram, it means that a lot of them are going to be shot in the process of moving the battering ram to the gate. And that's obviously the point, you know, that's the problem. So I was kind of hoping that that would be somewhat preferable, you know, to them getting shot like that. At least that was the idea. I'm not entirely sure if it's working better, but it feels to me like it is. Because, I mean, you can see here, look at how many... I mean, look at how many people we've lost so far. We've only lost a handful in comparison to about 50. You know, because I think, you know, 50 is what we normally lose right there. Anyway, we will hopefully be able to do something here. I'm a little bit worried about getting shot, so I'm actually going to be a little bit more careful. Loads of people coming out. Where is my son, by the way? I'm very much hoping that he's going to be here somewhere. One thing we also have to remember here, by the way, is that the enemy has a huge number of vassals in here as well. So that means that we're going to have to deal with some of their higher tier units as well, which is obviously very, very problematic. Well, you know, not necessarily very problematic, but it is going to be a bit more troublesome. Gonna have to be a bit careful here. Oh yeah, definitely gonna have to be more careful here. I am being shot, but that's okay. Hopefully it's not gonna be too bad. Just gonna continue moving back and forth here. Alright, there we go. That was some insane slaughtering going on right there. And indeed, look at that. I have 253 kills right now. I might be able to even beat our record. I think our record, according to some of you in the comments, is 350 or something like that. I did not realize that, by the way. I had no idea that that was the case. So, yeah. Hopefully we could try to beat that if I don't get shot. I have a feeling I am going to get shot relatively soon. So, bit of a troublesome spot. Oh, there we go. Oh, I got shot by a bow, didn't I? I got shot by a bow, I think. Oh, that's very interesting. What is Genzaburo doing, by the way? Why is he just standing here? Why do we have a huge number of people just stand? Well, not a huge number, only a handful of people standing there, but that's very strange, isn't it? I think that's very weird. But yeah, as you can see, we did get 294 kills. 294, not too bad. Now, where is our son? Did he actually kill anything? Yes. He has killed 3. He is dead now, though, unfortunately. I mean, he's not dead, but he is knocked out. So that's rather sad. I was kind of hoping that we'd have a bit more luck here than what we have going on here. I mean, technically, we should have the victory, but unfortunately, the enemy does have a very good fortified position, as you know. I mean, this position is probably one of the best I've ever seen when it comes to sieges in this mod, and I would definitely say that this is fundamentally the only reason why it's very, very difficult to take this particular fief. And as you can see, there you go. There's the victory for us. So very nice indeed. So that is indeed the last town that the Mori have under their control, which means, oh, you know what that means? That means that they are only, I think, 2 or 3 steps away from being completely and utterly eliminated, which I very much appreciate, of course. So the question is, do I want to take them prisoner or do I not want to take them prisoner? I think I will take them prisoner. Even though I'm not entirely sure if that is really going to, you know, it's not really going to do much. Let's just say that. I don't think it's really going to do much because most of the time, if we completely and utterly dominate, the enemy isn't really going to have much to do. They don't really have many places to go, not much to see, you know, all that wonderful stuff. And so, you know, if we do decide to you know, make peace with them or whatever, then I guess it makes sense, right? I guess it kind of makes sense. Okay, we got a bit of a herding problem right now, so I am going to get rid of a couple of horses. There we go. Just a small amount. There we are. All right. Okay, so what about food? Oh, yeah, we need food. So we are going to be taking every single little bit that we can here. Not the cow. Thank you very much. Okay. So nice amount of experience that we are donating as well. And as you can see, our son just gained 15 points in roguery and actually not 6 in leadership, but just 1 point in leadership. That's absolutely fine. Just going to take this fief. We're going to claim it ourselves because obviously I do want to give it to one of our vassals. And funnily enough, I feel like I should probably give it to our son. But again, it's not a good idea. It's not a good idea because if I do that, he's going to create his own clan and then we're not going to have an heir. So it's not a good idea for me to do that. But I kind of want to, if you know what I mean. I kind of want to. Yeah, they gave me Okayama as well, by the way. So yeah, that's something that I'm not a particularly big fan of. So we're going to be giving that away to someone else. Thank you. There we go. All right. So, how much... They don't have any food in here, do they? Let me actually just have a quick look, because I'm hopeful that they will. If they don't, then that's obviously... Yep, no, they actually do, which is great. That's fantastic. So, let's just get all the seaweed and the rice, and then we'll just get fish as well. I want to make sure we have at least 1,000 or so. I think that seems like a pretty decent idea. Let's try to get rid of as much of the ranged loot as much as possible too. And let's wait here for a little bit of extra time, just in case this guy decides to go into a nice little battle with us here. And yeah, unfortunately our party did end up losing quite a few troops. Yeah, as you can see, he only has 60 remaining. And look at that, they're actually willing to make peace with us already. I am going to say yes to this, just so that we can get our vassals a big lump sum and a little bit of cash over time as well. And it is going to prevent any kind of retaliation while we deal with the Miyoshi. Because the Miyoshi have obviously declared war on us now as well, which now means that we can eliminate them once and for all. At least that's the idea. Because well, we obviously only have, what, 1, 2, 3, 4 castles and Osaka to take. And then the Miyoshi will be eliminated. And you can see here that the Mori, they only have 2 castles. Jinzaburo was actually... funnily enough, I've interrupted him again by the looks of things with this wonderful peace agreement. But well, I that's the thing. I don't really know whether I should decline those things. I don't really know, because on the one hand, I really want our vassals to have as much cash as possible, because that is in fact going to make a really big difference. But on the other hand, I also think, oh, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I shouldn't do that, because then we're going to have some issues. Then we're going to have some issues, with something. But what issues? And that's the question. What issues? Because technically what I could do right now is I could just declare war on the Mori once again, and I will have just gained 1.3 million from them for nothing, and then it would be a very, very good thing for us. Maybe that would be a plan. But I think for now, I am going to be eliminating the Miyoshi, and that's going to be it for this episode. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.